July 31st. I'm going to talk today a little bit about medications. The gold standard medication, I should preface this by saying I'm not a doctor. I'm only going on personal experience. I'm not giving any advice. People that have things going on with them need to consult a doctor who knows what he's doing. But that said, I can only just tell you what I'm doing with mine. For me, I've been told that the gold standard medication is Sinemet, which is a levodopa medication. Now that medication works to put dopamine into my brain where I'm not using it. But unfortunately, it doesn't specifically go to where I necessarily need it the most, or longest, or whatever. So when you get to the point where you're taking far too many of the levodopa pills and they're still not being very efficient, they're working some of the time and not the others. That's what I was saying about the hour and a half on, an hour and a half off. Then they add new medications. They can cause serious side effects, so therefore you don't want to take the medication until you have to. But when you have to, it's nice to know that it's there. I have just recently started a new one of these medications. They're called agonists. The one that I take is called Nupro. It's just a small little patch. It's about 3/4 of an inch by 3/4 of an inch. It's just a small little thing. And you take the back off very carefully. It's supposed to be sticky, but I'm having trouble keeping it on because you wear it for 24 hours. And for some reason, maybe it's because it's very hot. And when it's very hot, your skin sweats and then things fall off. And you put it on a different part of your body every day for the rest of your life probably, or they'll add more or whatever they change to. I'm on the lowest dose possible right now because I just started it. I think you can go up to, I think I was told 8 milligrams, but don't quote me on that. Mine is a 1 milligram patch. So we put it on my body. You take the sticky off, you put it on, and then you put your hand over the patch for 30 seconds. They tell us that the heat of your hand then warms the patch and makes the sticky stuff stickier, and it stays on. And then they say if it doesn't stay on, you can always add a Band-Aid or medical tape or whatever. Well, I definitely have to add the Band-Aid or the medical tape to keep it on. If I don't, it falls off. And because I also shower many times in the nighttime if I'm having a bad night, it had to be waterproof. So my daughter, I tried Band-Aids first. They didn't last. Then my daughter bought some medical tape which said that it was sticky and that it would stay on and that it was waterproof. But it was also just the same width as the little patch. So when we put the medical tape on, we had to use 2 pieces of tape to put it on. So in my brilliance, I never cease to amaze myself. I get onto Amazon. And I looked and I found this stuff that it said it was medical tape. It's that, think of when you get an IV in your arm and they put that clear saran type tape that's very sticky over it to hold it into place while you're sleeping. Well, Amazon sold that. And I thought, great, I'll buy a roll of that. Well, that stuff. When I say sticky, I mean sticky. So I got my little tab on my arm or my belly or whatever, took this clear tape, and that tape, every time I went to take the backing off of it, it glumped onto my hands, onto my fingers, like I was hot glue or something. It just sucked on. And then when I tried to put it onto the patch, I just got a great big massive glump of melted type saran. So then I had to go back and take the two because I didn't want to waste another medication slip because it was, they're expensive. So then I had to take 2 pieces of the other tape and tape it on. I was still getting annoyed that it wasn't working, and so I said to my daughter, "Can you come over and we'll try it the next day?" So she came over and she said, "Mom, that's not the right tape at all." Like she said, "That's go back to the medical tape. You're not supposed to use this other tape." So fine and dandy, I'm back to the other tape. But when I saw how it glumped on and went onto my skin, it reminded me of something that happened to me. Now I'm trying to think how old I would have been. I would have been Claudine was little, and she's in her 40s. So it would have been 35 years, maybe 35 years ago or whatnot. Was I married to Bill? I think it was married to Bill at the time. Yes, I was. So it would have been somewhere in that range, 35 years ago or whatever. And we went over for Christmas dinner to my mom's. Well, my mom, man, could she cook. And when she did Christmas up, she did it up right. And there was always a ton of people around, and we always had so much fun. It was great. And this particular day, I decided that I was going to check something that was in the oven. I don't know what possessed me. I knew better than to mess with her food because she did such a good job. But being a snoop, I decided to check. Well, I was wearing, now you wouldn't get away with a dress like this today. You would not. They would not sell it. But I was wearing a dress that sort of came from the neck and out like a balloon. It was just flowing. It had layers and whatnot of this lovely floral print. And I thought it covered everything. So it was great when you're a fat person to, have something that was just big like this. Well, I opened, Mom's oven was low to the ground. She had a countertop stove, and then her oven was lower. So when you opened the door, you had to bend down to look in. Well, my dress, I didn't notice it at the time. I opened the oven door, and I leaned in to check what was in there, and my dress touched the oven door. Well, the heat of the oven door melted my dress. Kitchen full of people. When I stood up, when you take a cord that's got kind of plastic in and you put a match to the end of it to burn it, and it gets that hard plastic edge? My dress, from side to side, from the bottom of that dress, melted up till it came to my waist, and I literally had a dress at the back, no dress at the front up to my waist. My underwear were showing, and I had this tight little plastic piece that had melted. I was so embarrassed. So anyway, I'm trying to grab a tea towel to hold in front and bring stuff around. And my mom, she says to me, "Just go into the bedroom and get one of my robes and put it on." Well, that was very generous of her, except she's half my size. Half. There was no way that robe was going on me. And it was a slip over your head robe. So I couldn't even flub it up. So I ended up taking that robe, not putting it on, just putting it to the front and pinning it to my sides of my dress so that I looked like I had a robe at the front and a dress at the back. I have to tell you, it was a memorable Christmas. It was very memorable. I never forgot it. Never bought a dress like that again. But when I saw my medication patch lumping up, it brought that laughing memory back to me. And I really do like those funny memories. And I have so many good ones when it comes to my mom. She was really a gem of a lady. And if I could be a half of what she is, I'd have done something. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to me today, and we'll talk to you all tomorrow.